decreasing your screen time is all about willpower, right? Wrong. And that's exactly what keeps you stuck. Everyone says, yeah, just use willpower to stop scrolling. But the truth is that willpower just fixes the symptoms so that you are scrolling, but not the root cause why you are scrolling. When I stopped using social media about 2 years ago, I didn't use just willpower to stop scrolling. I asked myself, okay, why am I scrolling? And then fixed the root cause for me. And that really changed my life. I went from wasting hours a day on games and social media and so on to now not even having games or apps like Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok on my phone. You say you'll stop after watching the next 5 TikToks, but then keep scrolling anyways. But why is that? Let me explain. So, if you have a problem, let's say you're feeling bad or feeling bored, then normally you would sit there and think about, okay, why am I feeling bored? What can I do? And then you would see, okay, the root of my problem is that you don't have any hobbies. So just for an example. And normally what you would do is, of course, you would think about a solution and would think, yeah, okay, let's just get a hobby. But now the thing is that we also have another solution. The thing is, you probably think my problem is scrolling. My problem is that I have a high screen time, that I'm always on my phone and so on. But the truth is, that's not the problem. It's a solution for your problem. Because your problem is feeling bad, feeling bored. And normally, like I said, you would just get a hobby, for this example. But now you have another solution. You don't have to get a hobby. You can just start scrolling, because that fixes the problem for a short period of time. You don't feel bored anymore. You have your phone. You can scroll. You can see your friends on your phone and so on. So you don't feel bad anymore for a short period of time. And that fixes your problem. It's a solution. But the thing is, of course, like you know, it's not a good solution. It's not something sustainable. It's not something healthy. And long term, of course, it's bad. We know that. And that's because it just fixes the problem, the symptoms. Normally, with the solution number 1, you would have to think, how would I fix the problem long term? Here, you just think really short term. You think, okay, I want to not to feel bad right now. Here, you would ask yourself, how do I not feel bad in the future? So that's really the problem. You think the problem is scrolling and the screen time, but that's really a solution for your problem. But because it's a bad solution, we have to fix the problem at its root. So, for example, if you have no hobbies and that's why you're feeling bad and that's why you're scrolling, you shouldn't just scroll. You should ask yourself, okay, what can I do? Let's get a hobby. Let's get the long-term solution to fix the root, because then this root goes away. You have hobbies, and then no problem is there anymore. You don't have to solve it by either a normal solution or by scrolling. So it's really, you just have to fix the root cause, and then all these problems fall away in this case. So I hope you get my point, that scrolling it's a solution for your problem. It's just a shit solution and a solution for the short term. And to fix the problem long term, you have to get to the root of the problem. And that's why I want you to ask yourself, why am I scrolling? Why am I so addicted to my phone? Because that's how you get to the root of things. If you just say, yeah, okay, I feel bad, I know that scrolling, social media and all this stuff isn't that good for me, that's not deep enough. It's just at this at this problem level of, okay, I feel bad, and this wrong solution level, you know. You're just trying to fix symptoms, because here, down here, it's just symptoms. It's not really the problem, because the real problem lies here, on this stage, of the root of the problem. And all this stuff that comes after, feeling bad or bored, trying to get a hobby or scrolling, that all are symptoms, is all coming from the root cause. So it's now important that you get your root cause and really ask yourself, why am I scrolling? And I know, of course, now you are watching this video and think, I don't want to ask myself that, or let's just watch the video, maybe I do it afterwards. But that's really something, if you really wanted to change and want to change it in a sustainable way, and not just get the next 5 life hacks how to decrease your screen time. Of course, this type of advice also has its place, but if you really want to fix it sustainably, then it's very important for you to get to the root cause and really ask yourself, why am I scrolling? What is the root of my problem? And then it also becomes easier and natural to stop. Because let's say, in this example, you now found a hobby. You now get into a basketball team, for example, go there 3 times a week, whatever. You just have a hobby and you're doing stuff. Then you are naturally not really inclined to scroll your time away, because you have something to do. Or for example, for me it was back when I was scrolling pretty much, playing games hours a day, really much on my phone, and also smoking weed with my friends. So really much stimulation from outside. Back then I didn't really have much to do, or if I was at home and scrolling, the problem wasn't really that I was scrolling, but that I didn't have anything productive or good to do at home. So I started playing the piano, because that was something I was interested in, and I thought, okay, let's just do something instead of just sitting around passively. Yeah, so that was my thing, and then my screen time also naturally decreased. I didn't really have to do much for it, and also this thing of smoking weed with my friends, that also was something I was doing, and that also just became easier to stop. I didn't really think, yeah, okay, I'll stop now and I grind through it and I use really much willpower. It was just, okay, I don't really want to smoke weed today, because if I come home, I'm playing the piano, and then it's better for my learning to not be stoned, you know? So it's just a matter of, do you have a reason to stop? If it's social media, games on your phone, or even something like smoking weed, just all this stimulation that's numbing yourself and distracting yourself from the real problem and the root cause. And that's also why I think the advice, just use willpower, is really not sustainable and wrong for most people. Of course, it has its place, but like I said, it just fixes the symptoms and it's not thought long term. And I suppose if you watch this video, your goal isn't to go cold turkey for 1 week, to use all your willpower to not scroll for a week. I think your goal is really to live a more fulfilling life, because you see social media or scrolling or just being too much on your phone, that this is really taking away from your life. And then the sustainable solution is not just using willpower, it's really getting to the root of the problem and solving it there. So of course it can feel slower at first, the progress, but like we said, your goal isn't to just go cold turkey and have this hustle mindset, I would say, of just grind your teeth together and go through it. I think your goal is just to get rid of the problem long-term, sustainably, so that it's not coming back. And progress like this, that really changes your life in a meaningful way and not in this short life hack way, This feels slow. Of course, it takes a longer amount of time, but it's worth it. And in this case, it's even way more natural. So you don't even have to think that much about, okay, I don't want to scroll today, I'll use my willpower. It's more of, okay, I have something else to do. I don't want to scroll. And that, of course, takes a bit longer, but is way more sustainable in the long term. And in my opinion, the better way to stop using social media or decrease your screen time or whatever the goal for you is. And if you really want to take it seriously, you can look in the description. There's a link that could be interesting to you. So I hope the video helped you. I hope you took something out of it. I hope you now can get to the root of your problem and really stop scrolling or decrease your screen time in a more natural way instead of just using willpower. And then I wish you a nice day and bye.